Hello friends, you're welcome to my complete Java course. This video lecture is the continuation of my previous video lecture. In these video lectures, we are going to learn exception handling. In my previous video, we have covered all the concept of the exception handling. In this video, we discuss some exceptions like class not found exception, no class def found error. So what is the main exceptions comes during the program? We will discuss one by one. So let's start today video lecture. So first we talk about the class not found exception. What is a class not found exception and when it will occur? So class not found exception is a runtime exception which is thrown when an application tries to load a class at runtime using class.forName or load class or find system class methods, and the class with specified name are not found in the class path. For example, Blue program will throw class not found exception if the mentioned class oracle.jdbc.driver.oracleDriver is not found in the class path. So, what is the class not found exception? Suppose in your program you are trying to load some class dynamically. So there are many ways to load the class dynamically. Few method are like a class.forName, load class method and find system class method. So these are the methods are used to load the class dynamically. But if you are trying to load the class dynamically and that class is not present in the class path, then class not found exception will be thrown. So here is the example. We create a main class and define a main method, and we are creating a class.forName. We are trying to load class.forName and Oracle driver. What is the Oracle driver class? This is the concept of the JDBC. So just understand what is the class not found exception. Don't go into the detail. Okay, so this class, if this class is not present in the class path or the jar which you have added in the class path, so this program will throw the class not found exception. Okay, now we understand the next exception, which is no class def found error in Java. What is no class def found error in Java? No class def found error is an error. This is not the exception. This is an error which is thrown when Java runtime system tries to load the definition of a class and class definition is no longer available. The required class definition was present at compile time, but it was missing at runtime. For example, compile the Blue program. Suppose so why no class def found error occur? Suppose you create a class and you compile it. So dot class file will be created. So at the compilation time, dot class file is available. Now what happened? You delete that file or some miss happened. So that class file was deleted. And now you trying to run that class. So what happened? No class def found error will occur because you have compiled it. So it is available at the compile time. But after the compilation, because of some reason, it has deleted. Or now you are trying to run that application or that program or that class file. So it will throw the no class def found error. Suppose here you create a class A and class B. Now you are trying to create a class A object. Okay, fine. When you compile our program, two dot class file will be generated. One is A dot class file and another one is B dot class file. if you remove the a.class file and run the b.class file, Java runtime system will throw no class def found error. Now we understand what is the difference between class not found exception and no class def found error. It is an exception. Class not found, it is an exception. It is of type java.lang.exception. So class not found is the exception and its type is java.lang.exception. It is an error. It is of type is java.lang.error. It is an error type. It is an exception type. Number 2, in the class not found exception, it occurs when an application tries to load a class at runtime which is not available in the class path. No class def found error. It occurs when Java runtime system does not find a class definition which is present at compile time but missing at runtime. Okay. Now third point is it is thrown by the application itself. It is thrown by the methods like class.forName, load class and find system class. It is thrown by the Java runtime system. Fourth point is it occurs when class path is not updated with required jar files. Because jar files have the .class files. That's we are saying if there is no class .class file is available in the jar, that is why this exception will be occur. If it occurs when required class definition is missing at runtime. Now next exception is out of memory error. Out of memory error in Java. Now below code will throw java.lang.outOfMemoryError. Why out of memory error comes? Because Java heap space. Java heap space because the program is going to infinite loop and objects are getting created but not getting garbage collected. So eventually JVM will throw run out of memory. Actually what happens? So here what are you doing? You are trying to add some elements infinitely. Okay, so here you create a Java class main method and create a list. And what are you doing? You are creating a random method and in this class you create a while loop which condition true. So this loop will go to infinite time and you are adding a random number. So what happen when you will create the object or you will list object, it will create in the heap memory and you are adding the element in the list infinite time. So n number of element will be added in the list. So heap memory will be full and garbage collector will not collecting the objects. That is why it throw the out of memory error saying that there is no space available in the heap memory for storing the object. So if you run this program, you will get the output exception in thread main java.lang.outOfMemoryError Java heap space at. Okay, you will get the output this. But do you know what happened? From the Java 8, the out of memory exception not occur because it handled in the Java 8. So in the Java 8, there is a concept of meta space, which is a part of the main memory. So because of that, the out of memory error not come in the Java 8. We'll discuss about this in the Java 8 features. Okay, so till now just understand this exception is occur till before Java 1.8. After the 1.8, this error is not occur in the Java program. So now what is the solution for the out of memory error in Java? Easy way to solve out of memory error in Java is to increase the maximum heap size. by using the JVM option X maximum 512 MB. This will immediately solve your out of memory error. Okay, so what are you doing now? You are just increasing the heap size. If you are increasing the heap size, so more object you can be stored in the heap. Okay, so how to set JVM options in Eclipse? How to set JVM options X M max MX means maximum 512 MB. You can define any number here, but this is the standard number, or this is a sufficient number, 512 MB in Eclipse. So let's I show you how to set the JVM option in the Eclipse IDE. Not from Java 8 out of memory error not come, as I have told you. So step 1, open Eclipse and in the toolbar menu go to run and run configuration. Run, go to the run and run configuration. So if I show you, okay, so here run and go to the run configuration. Okay, okay. Now step 2, in the left pane of run configuration window, navigate to the Java application node and select the Java application for which you need to increase the heap size. Then in the right pane, click on the argument tab. So when you will open run configuration, so this window will appear. Okay, in the click on the Java application, then go to the argument, and in the argument, in the VM argument section, type the following argument. Okay, so here type the following argument in the argument tab and then apply and run. Okay, then apply and run. Now we will talk the next exception, which is class cast exception in Java. Class cast exception is a runtime exception raised in Java when we try to cast parent class to child class, or to improperly cast a class from one class to another class. Suppose here, take an example, we create a class A and class B which extend class A. So class B is a child class and class A is the parent class. In the test class, if you try to cast A class, which is a parent class, to the B class, then it will throw the class cast exception. Exception in threadman java.lang.classCastException A cannot be cast into the B. So you cannot cast the subclass to the parent class. Now next error is stack overflow error in Java. Stack overflow error shows that stack is full because of recursive call or any method. What is the stack memory? We have learned in the JVM architecture. Okay, if you don't know what is the stack memory, we have discussed in the detail about the stack memory in the JVM lecture. Okay, so means if a method is called infinite times, then stack will be full and stack overflow error will thrown. Okay, so here is the program. I create a test class. In this test class, I create a m1 method, and from m1 method, I call the m1 method. Okay, and from the main method, I call the m1 method. So this m1 method will call this m1 method, and this m1 method again call from the m1 method. So the control will always moving from this to this to this. So this is called the infinite time. So what happened? The method's entry goes into the stack memory. So stack memory will be full and it throw the exception stack overflow error. Okay, so it will throw the stack overflow error. Let's I show you on Eclipse IDE. If you run this program, here we have created m1 method, and within the m1 we are calling m1 again. So it will recursively call the m1 methods again and again. So it will increase the stack memory, and it will fill the stack memory. So after the some time you will get the stack overflow error. Now next exception is array index out of bound exception in Java. Okay, now the array index out of bound exceptions occurs whenever we are trying to access any item of an array at an index which is not present in the array. In another word, the index may be negative or exceed the size of an array. So let's see. We know that the array index starts from the 0. Okay, so here we create a test class and static void main method. In the main method we create a string type array, and we add the 4 element Rohit, Shikhar, Virat and Dhoni. So the index is 0, 1, 2, 3. So if we access any element from the index 0 to 3, we will get the output. But if we try to access out of the index, suppose array 5, so there is no element at the index of 5, so it will throw the array index out of bound exception. Array index out of bound exception. Let's show you on the Eclipse IDE. So friends, I have copied the code from the slide, and here we are getting the element on the index 5. So if we run it, we will get the array index out of bound exception because the index 5 is not present in this array. Suppose if we define a -1, so -1 index also not present here. So you will get the array index out of bound -1. Okay, so if you define a 2, you will get the output Virat because index start from the 0, 0, 1, 2. So friends, thank you for watching this video lecture. This is the last video lecture on the exception handling. I hope you will enjoy the series of the exception handling videos, and I try my best to explain each and every concept related to the exception handling. If you have any doubt, you can be asked. I will give the reply for your any queries. Okay, so thank you for watching this video lecture, and watch my next video lecture for learning new things in Java.